Hey everybody, welcome back to We Are Podcast. This is Camp Slash Horrorcast, Season 3, Episode 19, The Exorcist. If this is your first time checking out the podcast network, we appreciate it. Please head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just a reminder, Camp Slash Horrorcast is a weekly live videocast available on Twitch and YouTube. We go live every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time at twitch.tv/WeArePodcastNetwork and youtube.com/WeArePodcastNetwork. As the Camp Slash Horrorcast is live, I will not be editing the audio for this podcast, so what you saw live is what you get here. Please come watch the stream every Monday at 8 p.m. and if you want to see the previous streams, go check out our Twitch or YouTube channel. And for a full list of future films we'll be watching, please head over to Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /WeArePodcast. All links can be found in the description. And with that, on to the Horrorcast.
Camp Slash Horrorcast.
Hey everybody, welcome to Camp Slash Horrorcast. We talk horror movies from the past every Monday at 8 p.m. Central. I am your head camp counselor, Doc. God, I don't even know what I am. I'm here with other camp counselors. We have Miles. Dude, why didn't you say something? This is not the right thing.
Wait, they said dude in The Exorcist?
Yeah,
it was
dude in
the
The
director's cut.
I saw
That's one of the voices.
Like, that's not right. Oh,
like,
God,
dude, get out that girl.
It's not it lighten the mood.
Voices
I can never do anything right. I swear to God. This is ridiculous. Wow. All right. So we got
Excuse
Miles.
me as Miles lick me, Francis.
Miles, lick me.
All right, take 3.
Take whatever. Miles, you really don't want to play, huh, Francis? Miles, how you doing today, sir?
What a wonderful day to talk about The Exorcist.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I appreciate that. Next, we got Raph. Your mother sucks cocks in hell. Ramirez. Sorry, Raph. As I said it out loud, I was like, oh, that's kind of harsh.
Oh, man.
How are you, Raph?
I'm fantastic. I just want to hear how Miles' experience was. That's it.
I can't wait. We're definitely going to get into his extended experience, if you will. He watched the extended edition of the movie, so I can't wait.
Hit yourself.
Next, we got Jake. The power of Christ compels you, Pink Stink. Jake, how are you, sir?
I'm good. How are you guys doing?
Excellent.
Good answer. Yeah, right.
Fucking awesome, crazy movie, which I think the next person, Javi, I cast you out, unclean spirit, Byrez, does not like. Javi, how are you, sir?
What's going on, fellas? It's pretty good. I cannot wait to rip this movie apart.
Oh, Jesus.
There's always one. There's always
one. Next, we got David. I am the devil. Now kindly undo these straps. Jessup, David, how are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Thanks for asking. I appreciate that.
Good. Next, we got Jay. What an excellent day for an exorcism. McClintock. Jay, how are you?
I'm good. Good. A long day, but ready to exercise some demons.
Right on. And finally, we got
Good
our guest,
segue.
Matt. Keep your fingers away from my goddamn cunt, Altamari. Did I say it right?
I love it.
Yes.
Love it. Thank you so much for having me, everybody. I appreciate it.
Fuck yes. Thank you
Thanks
for
for
being
being
here. Guys, we're going to talk
Welcome
The
aboard.
Exorcist with the release date of December 26, 1973, the day after Christmas. So weird.
That's fucking
Running
good.
time 122 minutes in 1973 with an additional 10 minutes added in 2000 for the cut you have never seen. So 132 altogether. Budget $12 million with the box office of $441.3 million.
Holy shit.
Adjusted for inflation,
Boom.
is the highest grossing horror movie of all time.
God.
Synopsis. When a 12-year-old girl is possessed by a mysterious entity, her mother seeks the help of 2 priests to save her. All right, guys, let's watch the trailer. If you are seizure prone, do not watch this trailer. Okay, that is all I'm going to say, because it literally made people sick in the theaters when they watched it. You guys all see that or no?
Yep. Well, we used to. It went away.
Give me 1 second.
Now I'm looking back at my own ugly mug in a small square.
We all are.
My dad
I'm
said
sorry,
he was
guys.
running out of the theater throwing up. When
He
went
ran
to
out of the
you.
theater throwing up over this?
Literally.
The trailer or the movie?
The movie.
The experience people had was crazy back then, and I feel like we missed out.
That's what I mean. I think we missed out.
But this trailer alone, this trailer made people sick. So you'll see why in a second. I'm going to look away because they don't like to watch
try and save her.
Damn.
Yeah. That's some real legit shit right there. No one have a seizure.
Oh my god.
What does that have to do with anything?
Exactly.
That's a horrible fucking trailer. I've never seen it.
It just never ends. Jesus Christ.
Alright.
Miles,
look
final
away,
flash
you
at the end. God damn. All right, I'm done. That's the trailer, and it goes.
Jesus.
That's all it is.
That is
Thank
the
you.
original trailer for the movie. Wow. What?
I'm
the fuck?
for it because it doesn't do what modern trailers do and give away the whole damn
The entire
plot. Like,
movie,
that I want to see
Oh,
that
yeah.
film. Just seeing those flashing faces.
Well,
Like,
and
I'm
this
good
is
with it.
the
He's
reason
more
why I never
like-
seen that.
It's just
If
kind of
that-
like with the Inception soundtrack. That's exactly what we get.
If The Exorcist were released in 2022, that trailer would feature every sequence that had Regan like possessed. Like we would see the puke in the face, we would see the end where Karis
Crossing
jumps
the
out the
bed.
window. Like we would have seen the whole movie just out of order by the time we got to it.
Absolutely.
The
And there'd be a
thing-
scene at the end of the credits setting up the sequel.
Well, let's talk our histories with the movie. Let's start with Miles because Miles had an interesting experience over the weekend. But have you seen it before this weekend?
Oh yeah, dude, this is one of my all-time favorite horror movies. Like this would be on the like Mount Rushmore of horror movies for me easily. Though oddly enough, this one actually I was late to see because I did not see this movie until it came out in theaters in 2000 with the version you never seen. I think it's just one of those, like we've talked about on this podcast, how like great horror movie box art used to be on like VHS covers. Not really this one. If you're like a 10-year-old, like this isn't going to jump out at you like Ice Cream Man or Hellraiser, or, any of like the more appealing box art. But like when I saw the preview for this movie coming to theaters, I was like, oh my God, how have I never seen this movie? So I was probably 15 when I saw it for the first time.
God damn. And this weekend you watched it again while tripping on mushrooms. Is that correct?
I did, yeah. And it was
How
pretty
was
fucking
that
cool.
experience?
Dude, honestly, it was great because the music in this movie is so good, and mushrooms really pair well with music. So, admittedly, I did spend the majority of the movie with my eyes closed, not in a like I was terrified sort of way, but like when you'd like lay back on the couch and like you kind of just like let the music like create images in your mind. It was incredible.
Why did you keep this on? Did you want to watch it again with mushrooms intact, or were you just too like fucking zoned out to get up and turn it off?
No. So I had every intention of watching this movie on Saturday night. After I had a comedy show in Bishop Arts. It was awesome, really fun time. Some lovely people in the crowd gave me a chocolate bar full of mushrooms that I was not planning on taking, but when it's there, why not indulge? And why alter my plans just because I was altering my mind?
There you go.
That's your new merch t-shirt.
Yeah, put it on a t-shirt, dude. Jake, how about you? Black Phillip's in the way. Jake, what's your history with The Exorcist?
Grew up watching it, I guess. My mom always liked these movies. The Omen and Rosemary's Baby and this were like some of her favorites. And then I went and saw the director's cut whenever it came out in theaters, the re-release. And that was the last time that I saw it. So I didn't really remember too much of it. I mean, I loved the movie and I remember a bunch of it, but there's a bunch of little parts that I totally forgot about. And I picked up on a couple new things on this rewatching. But yeah, I dig it. Yeah, it's a good movie.
It's a good film.
Unlike Javi over here.
Yeah,
He's not-
he's hating on it, but we'll get there. Raph, have you seen it before? You got history with it?
So yeah, this was actually
You saw the same time you saw No Malone, right? That
No,
double
no.
feature?
I was actually 9 years old at my cousin's house, and I wasn't supposed to be watching it. I snuck behind this couch, and I saw the whole thing while they were watching it. I remember being terrified, but I saw the whole fucking movie. After that, they were showing other movies that weren't as scary, but I remember having night terrors because of that. I was like 9 years old. And then I do remember seeing the director's cut, but I remember seeing a different version that my cousin had that shows the making of, and he talks about the accidents. So I remember those from like when I was probably about 15. that they were talking about all the people that died, and I would tell that to people, and they're like, "No, that didn't happen." I'm like, "Yeah, it did," but I've never seen another copy of that.
9 people in total throughout the production of the film passed away, and so they believe it is cursed. So you were right, that is true. So yeah, it's crazy. How about you, Jay? You got history with it?
It actually took me about 10 years to really watch this movie. It was a really weird journey. I was young, and when I first got into horror, I like popcorn horror, and everyone says it's like the scariest movie ever, and I was a big pussy, so I was like, I'm not looking to. I know my limits, but then every time I tried to watch it, something kind of got in the way cinematically. Like the first movie I ever saw that had anything to do with possession was Shocker, the Wes Craven movie, and then like a year after that, there's this really amazing demonic possession movie that no one talks about called The First Power with Lou Diamond Phillips, and Jeff Gober, and then out of nowhere, to be honest, my first experience with The Exorcist was watching the parody. I saw Repossessed, where Linda Blair has her own, she does her own parody, and I was like, okay, and it's actually bizarrely accurate looking forward. And then I stumbled on The Exorcist 3 first. And I loved it.
Good. That's such a good movie.
I think it's the best in the series.
Third one's the best one, for sure.
For myself, and by a country mile. But I think it obviously stands on the shoulders of this one. Blah blah blah. But eventually, I fast forwarded, and I was just like Miles. First time I saw it was in the theater in 2000, and I got to see the amazing spider walk and all that jazz. And I was like, okay, yeah, I get it. So yeah, I thought it was pretty amazing.
Fuck yeah. David, how about you? Got history with the movie?
Yeah. I would go visit my mom and dad got divorced when I was really young. And so my mom would have me during the summer, and she had HBO. My dad did not. But my mom worked a night shift at the post office. So I was left alone with HBO. And that's where I saw Alien and all these great horror movies. And back then, you got to remember, there's no internet. Everything was word of mouth. And The Exorcist had such a great word of mouth. So, of course, I didn't see it in the theater, but it came on HBO, and I was like, I've got to see this movie. And that was the biggest mistake in my fucking life. Because my mom's bed.
You were raised Catholic, right? So
yeah,
this
this hit very home. And my mom's bed had those giant bedposts on them that Regan was tied to. And every time I'd walk by her bedroom, I would see Regan tied to the bedpost. And so it really fucked me up. And then my dad, he remarried this lady who was super Catholic. And I don't know if you guys remember, but The Exorcist came on regular TV one time. Now, a lot of the shit was cut out, but they still played it. And my parents made me, my little brother, and my little sister watch it like it was a documentary. Like they sat us down, they're like, this is real. This is what Satan does. This is what playing with the Ouija board and listening to heavy metal music. And so we watched it just like, I got traumatized all over again. And then in my teen years, I ended up getting night terrors. And of course, back then, again, no internet. I thought I was being possessed by a demon, not realizing it's just a psychological disorder that a lot of people go through. But if you experience night terrors and you're raised Catholic and you watch The Exorcist like it's a real
documentary,
thing,
The Exorcist,
you think you're being possessed because you listened to Iron Maiden without your parents knowing about it. So yeah, it was really traumatizing, but fucking love it.
And there is a reason it feels like a documentary. The director, William Friedkin, I think that's his name.
Friedkin.
Is it Friedkin? William Friedkin.
Friedkin.
William Friedkin. He was a documentary filmmaker before he made this. So this film is directed a lot like a documentary. So yes. And we'll get into it later. He did direct a documentary on an exorcism. So eventually they get there. Javi,
I have not seen that.
What's your history?
All right, picture it. 8-year-old Javi, summer of 1995. My mom I was a big chicken shit as a kid, so my mom says, I'm going to scare this chubby, high-strung little adolescent. I'm going to make him watch The Exorcist. All right, but she's like, we're going to watch The Exorcist. And I started watching, I was fucking bored. It didn't scare me whatsoever. It was a hard watch until like the possession scene started happening. I started bawling my little 8-year-old balls up Why? Because I saw Repossessed before I saw The Exorcist. And I'm like, oh, this is just like Repossessed. Not knowing it was a parody of this movie. I was like, this is a ripoff of Repossessed. They're just trying to make it serious.
Where are the titties?
It's a reverse spoof. That's
It was,
impressive.
I thought it was a reverse spoof, and I was just like, eh. And I watched. It was a hard watch. I mean, whoever made this director's cut, you deserve to be in the same place. Whoever made the director's cut of The Abyss. That is way too long and it's boring as hell.
You know, James Cameron.
Did you just condemn James Cameron to hell?
What the fuck?
After Avatar and all this Avatar 2 shit, he does deserve a spot in hell.
I'm pretty
Maybe
sure
I
he's
like
trying to get
this.
there with all the deep sea diving he does.
Mariana
I like this Exorcist movie, but whoever made the director's cut can fucking fuck right off. What the hell?
You don't need to see that guy in the desert.
Yeah, Jesus.
Guys, why do you think they call it the director's cut?
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question.
It should be called Who Did This Cut, because no one knows.
It's a complete mystery, yeah.
Finally, we got Matt, our guest, saving the best for last. Matt, what is your history with the movie?
Like Raph, I saw it way too early at a party. When you go to those parties where you're at some rich kid's house and their parents don't give a fuck, so they just are like, "Oh, go do whatever you want." So there was six of us. It was like 95, so I think I was like 13, and we were chilling and we watched that movie from beginning to end. My eyes didn't close one time, just glued to it. And then I didn't watch it until probably, I caught it in high school again. I didn't start appreciating how important it was to horror until I was in my 20s, I think. And since then, I've watched it. I'm one of those people that play shit out, right? So, I've seen that movie all the way through in the last fucking 10 years, probably 20, 30 times. And in the last, I would say 2 weeks, I watched it twice. I watched the documentary David had turned me on to on Shudder about it. It was a really, really, really good documentary. I don't know if anyone else has seen it, but
Leap of Faith.
Yeah, Leap of Faith. Really, really awesome. And I also read the novel by William Peter Blatty not too long ago, just to make the comparison. So
damn, you did your homework. Man.
What was the major differences between the novel and the movie?
That's a great question. The thing for me watching the movie is just what Blatty did was again, like any book, the level of detail that he goes into, the level of evil that the demon gets to. I mean, it's evil in the movie, but the demon is even more fucked up and controversial in the book. He says some horrible shit and you're just like, oh my God. And I was comparing those scenes, and there's some stuff they changed for the movie because I think they thought that what Blatty wrote was just a bit too fucked up, even for cinema, altogether. But if you haven't read the book and you dig the movie, it's a great read. It's not that long, and I think he's a great author.
And Javi, they probably have it on tape since we know you struggle with those things.
I will say this. I know the one scene that's different in the book, the crucifix masturbation scene, she actually it goes further with it, and she actually orgasms. And
oh my God.
Happy.
100% true. That's 100% right. That's one of the first things I noticed was it's close, but she comes in the book.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
That's horrible.
Orgasm.
Another little bit of trivia is Blatty won the money off of a game show, $10,000, and they asked him, "What are you going to do?" He goes, "I'm going to take time off and write a book." And this is the book he ended up writing. So I thought that was pretty cool.
Well, that was a smart idea.
Yeah,
no whammies on that one.
big whammies.
Enjoying this episode? Go check out Geekster, a dating and friends app for geeks that focuses on common interests as a way to make meaningful connections. Download today on the App Store or click the link in the description to find out more. Geekster, this is what happens when nerds collide. Geekster, available on iOS and Android.
All right, guys, let's get into talking about it. I want to start by talking about the fact that they say that Regan. Is it right? Regan or Regan? I always
Regan.
Regan. She has the nerves, or what it sounds like to me is ADHD, and they give her Ritalin for it. And I thought that was interesting because David's pointing at himself right now. I would say out of the cast, what is there, 9 of us, 8 of us here right now? Probably more than half of us have ADHD, so it's fine.
What was that? I wasn't listening.
But I love the fact that she gets the medication. It just amps up the behavior even worse. I thought that was funny. Does anyone have anywhere that they want to start? I mean, really, you could begin at the beginning how slow paced the movie is in Iraq. Go ahead, David.
So, go ahead, David.
And I talked to Matt about this before, is that watching this movie, I appreciate it so much because it's something that could not be made today. And you talk about that beginning. Like I was talking to Matt about how, can you imagine someone pitching this movie and being like, okay, the first 20 minutes are in Iraq and it makes no fucking sense. And it's all subtitled, okay? Okay, but there's gonna be a statue and it's gonna show up at the end. Oh, is it Lucifer? No, it's Pazuzu. Who the fuck is Pazuzu? Don't worry about it. Okay, don't worry about it. Yeah, and then we get a 13-year-old girl and she's stabbing her pussy with a crucifix. So we use a stunt woman? No, we use the girl. Yeah, we use the girl. And then she grabs her mom's face and she does lick me and she shoves it in her crotch. That would never be made today. So watching it, I appreciate it so much more because cinema, especially this is like the golden age of like 70s, kind of like that really grungy cinema of like, Pacino, The Godfather, shit like that. Just real and Freakin'. I had forgotten how many movies he had made that were like fucking French Connection, Cruising. They just had that gritty 70s feel. So yeah, just appreciating the slowness of it and the amount of important characters in this movie. It's not just the devil and the priest. It's the mother. It's the priest mother. It's the cop that shows up. And there's that amazing scene between the cop and the mom when the mom realizes, oh fuck, she knows her daughter killed him. She knows her daughter killed him, and that is so incredibly powerful. That scene is so quiet, but it's such a powerful scene because she realizes the cop knows that her daughter killed somebody. Okay, I'm done.
Good, Jake. What were you gonna say?
There's a couple things that I noticed at the beginning of the movie in the Iraq.
What is that noise?
Portion.
I'm sorry. It's my mom keeps calling me.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Jake.
So whenever he gets done digging and he takes his nitro pill, you see for the first time, and then he looks over and he sees that guy with one eye. They're all fucking beating on the anvil with nothing on there for some reason. I don't know, doing like a fucking drum line. And then he goes and talks to the director of the excavation, or I don't know who it is, but he's looking at his clock, and then the grandfather clock in the background stops ticking. And he looks over at it, and they don't even fucking address it at all. And I'm like, okay, is this like in his head? What's going on here? I have no clue. And then as he's leaving there, the guy with one eye that he saw earlier was in that market selling goods to somebody else, like as a completely different person, but it was the same person. I thought that was kind of fucking good attention to detail to throw that guy in there twice. Like he's been watching him and following him. But on top of that, all the statues at the end where he actually goes out to the sites all have one eye. Like,
I never noticed that. Holy shit.
It's like, what the fuck is happening here? So I just picked up on that tonight the first time watching it again. But
I didn't
who
even
knows
notice that
what
either.
it means? I don't. But I
think the demon was chasing him.
Plays into it, yeah. I mean, the demon, Pazuzu wants carrots, though. Like that's the whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Matt, what were you gonna say?
No, it's just through watching that documentary and just knowing they were thinking about doing the movie without the first scene, like without Iraq, and starting it not in Iraq. And I don't think it would. You can't do that, even though it's slow. It builds the slow burn, and it shows how, I don't know, for me it showed how fragile, just how amazing, like just the scenery, and it was. I think without that, it takes away a lot of the slow burn and a lot of who you're first meeting at the beginning of the movie with him at the dig and him taking the nitro and him looking like shit. And and then all of a sudden you're into it. So I appreciate that they kept that in.
Yeah, it's showing that the guy who's been through shit and his age, right? Like that's one of the things. He's on Iraq and then he's back over here in Washington doing shit.
It's just way more impactful when he shows up for the exorcism at the end. When you get that iconic poster scene where he's at the light, like you know this character already. It's not just some stranger. It's this person that we were introduced to earlier. And I used to be
no idea.
Exactly. Yeah. I used to hate that scene at the beginning, but as I've gotten older, I appreciate it more and more.
Another thing I like about that scene, especially the movie scene, is that if you look back now, we've seen a ton of different horror movies where you have your good and evil. It's the first time you really see fear in Pazuzu is when the priest shows up too. And that was like, that really kind of, as a sucker for like, that good old tale of good versus evil, it really it felt good because now it felt like the tide was turning. You know what I mean?
What's amazing,
you can see his fear when he's standing at the end of the Iraq scene, looking at the statue.
That's what I was about to bring up. Shit. That statue, that Western showdown where the camera pans over and you see the statue, and then you see them silhouetted in the light of the sun, the setting sun, is absolutely gorgeous. Number one, but number two, it sets up like a Western, like a showdown. And so that's the beginning of it. Like they've stepped out onto the OK Corral and they're about to go head to head, and it's really cool. And Max von Sydow was only 44 when they filmed this movie. But the makeup effects are so good. He looks like he's 80, 90 years old. That is absolutely amazing. And having seen...
He looks like he looks now.
Yeah, it's well, he looks dead now.
It's like, what? They predicted it perfectly.
But like, and it's crazy though, like how well those, and like I think they put in contacts to do like the cataracts, and I think that's one of the things they always mess up when old age makeup is they don't doll the eyes, because most older people have cataracts or lightened eyes, you know what I mean? But it looks absolutely amazing. But sorry, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, so talking about that good versus evil Western scene, did you notice right before then, Marin is standing there and a shadow comes across him, and that's when he turns and sees Pazuzu. It's almost like Pazuzu appears.
He does.
And then one of the guys with one eye was staring at him.
Yes.
Yeah.
Also, I never realized until a recent viewing that when he records Regan and speaking backwards, that she is saying Marin. I never realized that before.
I had the captions on.
Yeah, that was one of the names he was calling himself, right? The demon.
No, the demon was screaming out Marin.
Yeah, like he was calling to confront him essentially.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna skip to the end. Does Regan kill Marin, or does Marin just die of old age and fight?
Oh no, Regan kills him. Regan. She convinces him to untie her. Yeah, she convinces him to untie her, and when she's untied, she fucking beats the shit out of him and kills him.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Well, if you look, it looked like his head had been turned. His neck looked broken.
Yeah,
and very similar to how they found the body at the bottom of the stairs. Yeah, the director. Yeah,
and that's one of the most iconic.
They should have shown that fucking shit.
Well, when she turns around and she starts speaking in the British director's voice, she's mocking his death. I didn't realize that until I was watching something else today. I'm like, that's so genius. But what did your fucking cunting daughter do? And I was like, holy shit. But that is such a good practical effect while looking slightly off, which makes it even creepier.
Right.
And evidently when the 360 head spin happens, I guess freaking kind of misinterpreted the script. That wasn't what's supposed to happen. And it takes a lot of people out of the movie. For me, it brings me further in where the creep factor.
It's great.
It's so good. And the exorcism scene only lasts all of 9 minutes, but it's, I think, a perfect 9 minutes of filmmaking. I think there's few that you get, but like from beginning to end, it's just absolutely unbelievable.
Oh yeah, whenever they get into the shit of this, it's like, fuck yeah. Like,
well, Gyros' sacrifice, and when you watch that happen in his eyes, holy shit. I mean, that's such a powerful scene, and then he basically launches himself out the fucking window. It's insane.
Well, it looks like the demon's wanting to attack Regan at that point through him. Right. And yeah, he uses his last ditch effort to fling himself out the window.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so
like Reagan's about to get it, but she doesn't because he's stronger.
Right after he literally
Right.
beats the shit out of a 12-year-old, though. That's
Right.
fucking dope. I mean,
He's
we
gonna get his licks
have
in.
all wanted to do that at some point, and he gets to live the fantasy right there on the big screen.
And he's a fucking priest. Good for him.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, so I had a question about when the the director died. When the detective went to search in that area, he finds the little metal head that the guy initially finds in Iraq. How did the director? Did I miss a scene there? How did the director end
I
up?
thought that was like a clay thing that Reagan made.
Yes, that was a clay thing that Reagan made. You're talking about the Michael
metal one.
the metal thing. So the director talks about that, and the idea is almost because it's found in Iraq, and he mentions he's like, this is from a different time period, but then it shows up in Karras's dream.
Oh, not the amulet. I'm talking
Okay.
about the little head.
So here's something really interesting that I had never noticed before. The little head thing was a clay thing that she had made. If you go back to the scene where she's in her basement with the Ouija board and stuff, she's got clay stuff.
The
Yeah,
bird.
she made that.
She made
Well, it was paper mache. She made a
Paper
paper
mache.
mache.
And
Yeah.
do you remember the scene where in the church where the statue is? So basically,
mache.
the reason why the window was always open, Reagan was being possessed, and she was going out and doing that shit.
Oh, so the murder could have been an accident.
I've never thought of that.
So the murder could have been an accident then. Well,
No, the
it probably
murder wasn't an
because-
accident. The murder, she murdered him because he put the cross under her pillow.
Oh,
So
yeah, he
the
did. And
director
she
put the
broke his
cross.
neck.
Yes.
Yes.
The director put
the
the cross.
desecrations in the town were Reagan sneaking out.
Yeah.
Fuck.
What?
Yeah.
I
So
had
she
no
went
idea.
back-
I was
She went
10
back to
years
the
old when I learned that.
He went back to the church and put a
Yeah.
paper mache penis on that statue.
Yep.
Javi, does that change your opinion of the film now that we understand it on a deeper level?
Oh, I mean, I can appreciate that. Like, it's right. I'm learning a lot about this movie, and
Did the statue turn you on, Javi? When you saw it?
I had a little
Dude,
bit
that
of a chub
statue's
going.
not thick enough. Mary doesn't have a badunkadunk.
Yeah.
Hey, did I can't seem to remember, but do they ever? I don't know why I can't remember this. Do they ever mention the astronaut actually dying in outer space?
Wait, what?
The one that
Remember-
Reagan's like, you're gonna die. Up
Yes.
there.
So basically,
no,
they're
no.
at the dinner party.
Oh,
She-
he was an astronaut. I thought he was
Yes.
skiing in the Alps or something.
No,
like that.
no.
He talked about
He was,
NASA.
Yeah,
He
he was.
I
mentioned
thought he was
NASA.
the father. I thought he was another priest.
Hey,
No,
Dougie,
no,
maybe
no.
you should watch this movie on mushrooms.
So did I.
Pay attention.
Well,
Shake your
she's
ass.
addressing.
Wash
She's
yourself.
addressing.
Shake your ass.
She's addressing the party because it's that priest that really loves show tunes, and he was like, I want to be a headliner. I want to be a headliner in heaven, and they love me.
Oh, he's
Yeah,
in
that
white
was the
heaven.
moment where I went,
I was like, hey, good for you, buddy.
White heaven.
No, but then she walks in and then pisses herself. And which one of us hasn't done that? But I mean, like, when she's like, you're gonna die up there. I pretty much got they're talking. She's talking to the astronaut, but yeah, they don't follow through with that at all.
Yeah, I always thought that should have been like one of those things in movies where it's on the TV in the background.
Yeah.
Or it's on the newspaper
Yeah, but
or something like
100%
that.
after she pisses, you don't think about it really. I mean, we're thinking about it, analyzing it, but after the piss, it's like, what the fuck?
It could have been in the radio before the girl puts the earpiece on. I didn't catch
That
what
was
they were
weird,
talking
man.
about.
I didn't like that. I didn't understand that at all. What the fuck was going on there?
Okay,
Was she
why
trying
did
to
avoid
she
the
was trying to
demon?
avoid it because all day long, all they're hearing is the house breathing through this demon happening, and she's trying to avoid it because she's still got to go to work. You know what I mean? And so she can't just
What does
stop.
she do exactly, though?
I think she was just an
I
assistant.
just see
Sister?
her hanging around
That
a
was
lot.
his sister.
It
Yeah.
was her
She
sister.
had maids.
Oh.
She had a
Scissor
maid and
sister?
she had a
I thought it was a
butler.
nanny. I thought it was a maid, a butler, and a nanny.
I thought it was like an actress's assistant,
Exactly.
That bitch was real.
Just
No,
assistant.
she was
Hey.
American. She wouldn't have her serving her.
Let's talk about how fucking baller that brownstone was, guys. Jesus
Yeah.
Christ, that's living the good life.
Yeah.
That was a fucking
The
killer
ha-
crib.
The house itself, they build an extension on a 40-feet extension so that the window would be closer to the stairs, so the end scene would make sense, and also the death scene. My question is, why was the director crawling into a room? But now you answered it with putting the cross under it.
Yeah, because remember later on she
And he was
finds
a
the
drunk.
cross and like, who the fuck put this there?
Who did
And
Yeah.
like, it was the Jewish guy that was pissed at the German.
Well, this time, yeah, the Nazi
Yeah.
did.
Good scene. That was a good scene.
Hey, so when did whatever happened to Roman Polanski go down? Does anyone know when that was?
Well, when did Sharon Tate and all that shit happen? It happened.
She
like
died
5
in
years after.
69. She
So
died in 69.
I'll look
I
it
think
up.
his shit went down around the same time as this, like 73.
I almost feel like that director's portrayal is like a direct affront to Roman Polanski, because he is kind of like he was a Chester
drunk?
and all that jazz.
Yeah.
Drunk Chester, and I mean, and even Linda Blair, she was dating Rick Springfield after this, and he's 10 years older than she was. So
Well,
had a little
Polanski
Elvis
was
Costello going on.
famous. Polanski was famous at that time, so there's a good chance that it was based upon him because
Polanski's still famous.
Well, yeah, absolutely. But 77 was when the
I
Still
used to be
making
famous.
movies.
I still am.
Yeah, but I am.
So
Go ahead,
77 is when he got caught. So
Yeah.
maybe this was just like maybe this was foreshadowing it yet again. Like,
What do you got, Matt?
No, not much. Just I'm thinking about.
Oh, I thought you raised your hand. I'm sorry.
Oh no! I was just listening.
Oh, right on. Let's talk about the possession. What do we think it comes from? Does it come from the Ouija board and Mr. Howdy?
Yeah.
Do you
It's
think
got to.
She
Yeah.
found
Well,
it.
as
And she
a-
talked
as
to
a-
it by herself.
Yeah, as a Catholic,
Oh, geez, here we go.
experience. What we believe is that anything that is perceived to be dark forces, be it a Ouija board, tarot cards, the soul has a door, and that door opens and closes to the light and the darkness. And if you mess with things that are demonic, you open your soul to the dark forces, and you open your soul to be possessed. That's
You're
kind of
just trying to
how-
say don't play Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes,
I get it.
dude. I want to play D&D.
Burn our
Yeah.
heavy metal music. We hear you.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
I like how
That-
you were afraid of this stuff, David, and then you ran towards it as you got older, which tends
Well,
to
I
happen.
mean,
His
once
door
I-
just got stuck in that dark
Yeah.
side.
Once I realized it was bullshit, I was like, "This is pretty fucking cool, though."
Metal is
Hey,
fun.
Matt.
This
Hey,
bullshit.
I got-
metal.
I got
Good,
a question
Jeff.
for Matt. So, okay, for me, why it shows Regan is the weakest plot point of the entire movie. I think they don't really give us any sort of explanation. But in the book, how do they describe how she got possessed?
It was very similar. It was like I said, it was just more detail, and it was in the basement. There was more detail with the Ouija board. The mom was super pissed about it, threw it out, and the possession itself though came on a little bit. What would you say? I guess slower.
Okay.
And I know the movie is a slow burn, but like she gets possessed and she's possessed. In the movie, it's just like more creaks in the house. There's a lot of shit that happens even before the bed jumps up and down, which is the first thing we really see in the movie. That is like the main, like, okay, this is not ADHD. This is.
Oh yeah, she thinks there's rats in the ceiling.
Yeah, right. She swears to God that there's rats in the ceiling. That's a fucking 3 pages of that. You know what I mean? Like, and Carl swears to God, and she tells him to fuck off and go get the rat traps.
She was so mean to her staff.
She was
Yes, she
mean
is.
to Carl. She totally was.
Yeah.
Well, he was a
Well, wouldn't
Nazi,
you-
to be fair.
She was
Yeah.
You were rich.
she was a diva actress. They really got that diva actress thing down with her. And I absolutely love the scene where it shows her filming, because there's a makeup guy that was like putting stuff on her, and she's like, "Get the fuck away from me!" And she's getting ready to go do her scene.
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, it's classic."
Jake, what were you going to say?
I'm probably way off, but here's my theory on what the fuck it is. So Pazuzu is unearthed at the beginning in Iraq, and I think she wants Marin the whole fucking time. But she can't get a hold of him right away, so she goes to a general area where he knows he might be and latches on to Soul of the Innocent. Karis gets involved, but I think it's all part of the plot point to get Marin involved. But after Marin dies of natural causes, a heart attack, she can't fucking steal his soul or whatever. That's whenever she latches on to Karis afterwards. And that's why he knows it's inside of her and kills himself. That's what I got.
Early
but
on,
Damon
though-
asked for the demon to come into him, though. And I think
Yeah,
he knew he was going to kill
exactly.
himself when the demon did. Because immediately
Yeah.
when he knew he was possessed, he's like, fuck this life. Boom.
But why is he
the
looking to be-
the demon knew all along, because there's a scene so early on when
Ellie
he
knew
comes
that
in
was
and
gonna
says,
happen.
"Hey, we're going to do an exorcism." That's when she's like, what a lovely day for an exorcism. Oh, you'd like that? And she goes on to say, like, yeah, it's going to bring us together. And Kara says, you and Regan? And she goes, no, you and us.
You and us.
Yeah.
Yes.
They're also, you have to remember too, guys, that they mentioned that Marin had done an exorcism before in Africa that took like 3 months. And so
we saw, yeah.
Pazuzu's probably pissed about that.
Yeah.
You know, Pazuzu's like, what the fuck, dude? And it was wanting revenge.
A prequel movie, the fourth movie, like Jake just said, there's two versions of it. There's The Exorcist Beginnings or something like that, and then the alternate version called Dominion. And it was very interesting how the studio, they filmed 95% of it. The studio dropped it, said refilm the entire thing. And I think it's got Skarsgård in it.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, and they refilmed the entire thing, and then years later they released the original version. But I would be intrigued to watch both of them and see what differences there are. But I want to get to Javi real quick, who's a detractor on this movie. The rest of us seem to kind of dig it. Raph is kind of on the fence, it sounds like. But Javi, I get the impression that Monkey Wrench and that you hated this movie. Is that true?
I didn't hate it. I just found it boring, and I honestly think watching the fucking spoof first really ruined it for me. It really took me out of the complete experience. Like, I'm listening to you guys with your heads like, oh damn, I feel like I got screwed out of this one.
Well, it's one of those movies, Javi. I think that it would be great to do a Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and erase everything you know about it and then just watch it fresh.
That's what I was just gonna say. And
that'd be a great service.
Have you ever looked at it from the perspective of like, in that year, in that time, people were seeing that for the first time on a giant movie screen, and it was destroying them. That's so important for the horror community and like everything that I love and that we all love. And so like for me, it's a huge respect thing. But like my dad was telling me, he's like, I went to see it because I had heard all this shit, and he's like, there was fucking people fainting. There were people running out of the theater. There were people yelling at the box office, demanding their money back, saying that this was the biggest piece of shit that had ever been. No, but I mean, like, that is real. In the 70s, that level of fucked upness had not been achieved yet. And I think that that's important for us to respect that Friedkin was like, fuck this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna blow this fucking shit up right now and possess 12-year-old girl.
And it was also like kind of like the first blockbuster, wasn't it? Because it was pre-Star Wars.
Yeah.
I think Psycho was the first blockbuster.
That's probably
that came out in '60. As far as horror movies go, Psycho's definitely the first blockbuster.
Yeah, you got it.
But still, to both of your point, and somebody said it earlier, with that and the lack of the internet, this is one of those movies that gained a like cult reputation before there was like the internet spread, where it's like you heard about it from your cousin who saw it, and again, you hear the scariest movie I've ever seen. 3 people threw up in my theater. Oh, somebody in my theater fainted. And it like gets this like lore going about it that makes there's people that had anxiety. I think somebody mentioned when we were talking about our history, it's like you hear so much about this movie that like if you're susceptible to that, you're like, I don't want to fuck with that. Or if you fucking Catholic or whatever, like David, you're like, I don't want to fuck with that.
Those vomit scenes were hilarious. It went right into his mouth. He didn't.
That was on accident, dude.
Shooting that fucking hard.
That was
I have a hard time. I have a hard time giving this movie cult status, though. Like, I don't think it's really a cult movie. This movie was.
I think it is
mainstream.
Oh, it's not a cult movie. This is a movie.
No, I mean, like it was successful since day one.
Yeah,
like
then you have
was
4 more.
It was considered the greatest. I mean, it single-handedly raised church attendance by like 40%.
I said that's the cult part, Jay. That's the cult part.
The Catholic League produced it.
You find out that it was actually produced by the Catholic Church because they were losing people, and they're like, we got to scare these fuckers.
If you're like talking a de facto cult film, then yeah, I'll give you that.
Well, the priest,
like an actual cult film.
The priest who plays his buddy.
I got it.
The priest who played his buddy is an actual priest, and they did have to film on the Catholic church there or whatever the college that it was, and so all that is filmed around it in that town. 2 things I was going to bring up, if I can remember what they were, because you guys brought up a good point there. Shit. I should have written that.
Hey,
that was
Ellen
fun.
Burstyn, she's the mom in this movie. All right. And they offer shock therapy. And I know she's like looking
Thank
into her mind. She's like, oh, they're going to fucking do that to me in that movie with
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah.
So what I was going to bring up is what made people faint was actually the hospital scenes because they were so realistic. They freak people out. And for me, the most disturbing, I actually fast forwarded through the hospital scenes because they were going to trigger me because I spent a lot of time in the hospital as a child. And so watching a child in the hospital while going through that, spinal tap or whatever it was, that was very disturbing.
Yeah.
So I actually fast forwarded. And then I got that cool bit of trivia about that guy who was the x-ray assistant with the beard being a serial killer. I was like, that's fucking
Did you know
crazy.
this, Matt?
Yeah, so the guy who's the technician's assistant with the beard actually killed a man. He was gay and he killed his gay lover. He went out frequenting the bars and killed his gay lover or something like that. Ended up getting 20 years in jail and then admitted to 6 other murders in jail.
Get the fuck out.
Fucking
It's the scene
And
where
he
she's
got out.
going. It's the scene where she's going into the MRI.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, Regan, I'm going to lay you down now. Just
Right.
Yeah, it's that
Yep.
dude.
That guy's a serial killer.
And then Ducky mentioned that the gay murders, the people were being chopped up and put in bags in New York, and that ended up being the inspiration for a movie directed by William Friedkin called Cruising.
Yeah.
That's fucking crazy.
Simulation. We're in a fucking simulation.
In a simulation. But yeah, I think it can't be understated that the word of mouth of like how scary it was and people fainting, and actually the actress who plays the mother, I can't think of her name.
Ellen
She
Burstyn.
Ellen Burstyn.
She went to a theater and actually
It's Ellen Burstyn.
So somebody was fainting and coming out of the theater as she was walking into it, and or out like she was getting snacks or something, and she actually caught them, and she got an assistant because she didn't want the person to come out of their spell and look up and see the actress playing the mother.
Oh, how horrifying!
Yeah.
my favorite, I think my favorite scenes in this are the scenes where it's Karis and her just talking.
Yep.
I absolutely love those.
I love the scene where she freaks out because she's at her wit's end. She's went to every doctor because she's not religious.
Oh yeah,
she's went to every doctor. She tried the psychiatrist. Obviously, didn't work out. Regan went right for the nuts. And then she says to him, she's like, "They send me to you. You're going to send me back to them. Somebody just fucking help me."
She's like, I've been through 80 doctors.
Yeah,
I mean, dude, she should have won Academy Award for Best Actress.
See, but but that's when they raise it to the next level. When David's talking about, Karis and her in the room, and it's like this almost nonchalant, really smooth back and forth between them, and then she starts fucking with him as his mother. That's big. That's heavy, man.
Mm-hmm.
That's heavy for a lot of people, and that doesn't affect me, but I can imagine that fucked Karis up in the movie, and you see it because Karis is so strong, and then that's the one thing, and he knows it's not his mother, but it still fucks him up. And I think that's what I mean, pushing the boundaries. That right there is evil shit.
Well,
and why it was so important to show the scenes with him and his mother.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say, David. That makes the slow build even that much more important because it gave him the opportunity to give that scene weight.
And as a 9-year-old man, I appreciate all of the slowness and all of what we're talking about today, all the minute details we've all looked at and have talked about today, so much more than when I was fucking 14, 15 years old. It's such a better movie now.
Well, and
also,
also,
I tell you what pissed me off.
When I was 14, I was like, man, this movie doesn't even have nudity in it. I'm like, alone.
It's all the blood. Fuck.
The subtlety of the homeless guy asking him for money, and then Regan recreating that guy's voice.
Hell yeah.
Wait, Raph was shaking his head. No, the slowness. Yeah.
Oh
Raph,
yeah,
does
no,
not
it
work
was
for you?
too. It was too slow for me. It was very slow. The director's cut was even
next
longer.
time tell her to speed up while you're watching.
Bravo.
Perfect.
Go ahead, Ralph. I'm sorry.
Well, I was just gonna say I didn't like the scenes where fucking super natural shit's happening to her and she's not reacting like it's happening. Like the lights are flickering, her phone's ringing, she answers, acts like nothing happened.
The candle
when she
lighting up.
Yeah, that candle fucking is a torch. It's one of those Elon Musk flamethrowers. And she acts like nothing.
She's not religious though. She's not superstitious. She's a woman of
Look,
good, Jake.
what I didn't like. Oh, go on, Raph. How do you explain what?
No, I was just gonna say, how do you explain this fucking blowtorch and then you don't say anything about it? Just go back to
she's an actress.
Yeah, she's used to handling blowtorches.
That's what the script said, dude.
Yeah.
Jake.
I think Father Karras is a fucking jackass. Okay, he walks in there the first time and sees her, and she's got demon yellow eyes, blue skin with scars over her, green mucus coming out of her face. She's talking in a grown man's voice, who's actually a lady that did the voiceover, and he's like, "Huh." No demons here. What the fuck? And he has to do 3 evaluations before he's like, you know what? I guess we better call somebody. And then on top of that, the guy comes from a medical background and he does CPR like this. What the fuck? Dr. Karras, fuck you. Priest Karras, Father Karras. I was waiting for the steeple to fall on top of your fucking chest, and I was like, God damn it, that's the Omen. But
don't you get the sense that in a way, subconsciously, Karras really didn't want this to be real? Like he was looking for any reason why this was like he was looking for any. He would grab onto the smallest thing. He would not pay attention to anything else. And I feel like when it really hit home was the recordings. When he was sitting with his buddy and he's listening to the recordings, and the guy goes, "Oh no, that's English. It's just backwards." And that's when I think he was like, "Fuck me, this is real."
I think that's spot on.
Get on a Pink Floyd and fucking.
Well, and like they very much make it apparent that it's an embarrassment to the Catholic Church at this point. So to be the guy that's like, hey, we need an exorcism, you're going to be the laughing stock of your position. And he was already at a place where he was having
he was losing his faith. Yeah. Exactly. So he's losing his faith.
Wanted to become
he wants out. He wants out of the religion. He's losing his faith. And all this is doing is reaffirming his faith. And so it's like he's looking at it through a scientific lens. And he's like, no, it has to be something else. Which, by the way, I just want to mention, have you guys ever heard of the book called Brain on Fire?
No.
Brain on Fire is a true story.
Kings of Leon. Love
them. Oh, that's actually really, I love the good album. No. It's a true story about a girl who woke up in an insane asylum. And basically what happened was she had a lesion, which is what they talk about in the movie. She had a lesion on her brain, but it made her... Lesion, sorry. It made her... And he mentions we are legion in the thing. It made her seem like people thought she was possessed. People thought she was possessed. And it causes a fever on the brain. And it's what they think happened a lot because it happened to young women. And it's what they think why people thought people got possessed like in the old days. It was this weird thing that made people super strong. They would speak in tongues. They would contort their bodies. But it was because there was a fucking lesion on their brain. And the way they figured it out is they asked her, draw me a clock. And so 1 through 12 on the clock, she wrote 1 through 12, but only halfway through. So 1 through 12 instead of all the way around. And the guy was like, oh yeah, you have this thing. It was like a telltale sign. Yeah, exactly. It was a telltale sign that she had this
demon
disease.
brain. Bitch.
Got demon brain, yeah. Anyway, so yeah, I think he was trying to exhaust all scientific things to explain this because he didn't want to believe it.
Well, exorcisms were part of the 16th century, like he said. He wasn't joking. They didn't come back into the public conscious until this fucking movie came out.
Isn't that funny?
That's when people said, oh, that's interesting. So when you guys make the joke that the Catholic League funded this, trust me, there's something to that because obviously this got people more interested and people were terrified of this movie. And that's what I want to kind of end this conversation on. Is it still scary? And for me, it is terrifying. This movie scares the shit out of me. And I know it's just makeup effects and ADR. I know it's just a woman who smoked cigarettes and ate raw eggs going, fuck yeah, fuck yeah, fuck yeah. That's not scary in itself, but
you got a cigarette, Father.
Yeah, it's
so
just
scary.
Automatically and then the flashes of Pazuzu scares the shit out of me. I don't even like saying the name. This movie sticks with me. I took a shower earlier. I closed my eyes. I just saw the demon over and over again. It's like, fuck, this is impossible. It scares me. But does it scare everyone? Javi, does it scare you?
No, but after I did see it, I called my mom. I was like, Mom, remember The Exorcist? She saw it in theaters.
Ooh.
And she said, I've never seen my mom. My mom's seen a lot of shit in real life that would terrify anybody. This movie, to this day, I asked her, "Are you still scared of the Exorcist?" She goes, "Yeah, this movie still fucking shakes me in my bones." Like, and she's pushing 60, and just see like the effect on her like 50 years. I can't do math. Whatever 1973 is to now, it still affects her to this day. So I'm assuming that it's still scary for a lot of people.
But you yourself, nothing.
No,
not a
nothing.
damn thing. Not even watching it today. You're afraid of everything, right?
I know.
When going to a haunted house, but like it's the same thing. It's just people in makeup, and this movie didn't get you. That's so funny. David, how about you? Still scares you?
Oh, for sure. Still watching it. It's still, even though I don't believe in God and the organized religion anymore. I still believe that there's dark shit out there, man. I still believe there's dark shit out there. And the human brain is very powerful. And so I feel that if you believe in something, you can manifest it into yourself.
Absolutely. Raph, did it scare
yet to manifest $1 billion.
I've been trying to do that shit.
Raph, it scare you?
No, it did not scare me this time around. It was, again, picking at the movie, I was laughing the whole way through. The vomit, the spit, the fingering. It was hilarious.
The fingering? There was no fingering in this spot.
The crossing.
The crossing, yes.
The crossing.
Oh, by the way, I did not like the director's cut. I like the original cut way better.
The same thing.
I think
the original
Spider Walk is the shit. What are you talking about?
Spider Walk is dope.
Spider Walk is awesome.
That's cool, but everything else they added, I thought was
the only things they added were Spider Walk, and then the priest talking in the hallway, in the stairwell, and then the ending. They added.
They added that whole scene where she was being tested in the very beginning, where she talks about it being on ADHD, and then the guy says, "Oh, she tried to finger me." That was never in the original. And the thing that really pissed me off is they added a shot of the house in Georgetown before the Iraq scene. The original movie in Iraq.
Yeah. And I watched the original for what it's worth. I did not watch the director's cut.
Good, Miles. Good for you.
Director's cut that I watched, it started straight off in Iraq.
Yeah, me too. Maybe I missed something.
I don't know, but I watched it on Amazon.
Jake, how about you? Does it scare you at all?
No. What are you even asking me? What?
I don't know. I figured I'd ask.
I could see how it could be scary.
But it didn't get you at all.
I mean, I'm fucking 40.
I'm 37. It scared the shit out of me. I'm gonna be like, I literally put every light on as I walked through the house. I was like, "Fuck this!" I might as well Pazuzu.
Dude, that's how the demon finds you, bro.
I would be so lucky.
Wouldn't it be great if a VHS just came in?
Things nowadays. God. Like I have found this black cat, and I'm hoping that it's actually the devil. Help me in some way.
Maybe you'll get your $1 million that way.
Billion.
I'd be fine with $250,000. That's fine.
I'd be happy with $20
at least.
I just need 200 for another ounce.
Jay, does it scare you?
For whatever reason, the Exorcist formula of chills and thrills, it never got under my skin. And there's plenty of horror movies that scare the shit out of me. Plenty of them. I can attest to plenty of them, but unfortunately not. They didn't really get me back then. Didn't get me now.
Damn. All right, a mushroomed up Miles. Did it scare you?
No, man. I'm kind of. I loved it, dude. I love the movie, but not in like a terrified me way. I just I'm kind of with Jacob on his answer, really. And Jay, maybe the reason that you said that one doesn't really get you is you and I both said we kind of saw that one late into our horror, filmography. By the time I was 15, I'd seen a lot of horror, and it wasn't like I was particularly disturbed by films at this point. So yeah, I love this movie. I respect the hell out of the horror that it does provide. I understand why some people would be shaken by it, but no, I think it's a fun watch.
Right on. Matt, does it scare you?
No, and I just want to mimic Miles's answer almost. I mean, I hate to be the copycat, but I mean, that's it. I feel exactly the same way. And I'm the guy that could eat dinner while watching an autopsy or looking at crime scene photos. I'm good with that, right? So,
Same, yeah.
So like Miles said, it doesn't, I don't know that there's anything I can watch that's going to physically scare me, but I respect it I know why it's important, and I can see why it fucks some people up, especially those who really do believe in a higher power and religion. I get that. Yeah, no, Ducky, exactly. Like, I happen to subscribe to the same, I think, thought process that David does, but folks that don't watch this movie in a completely different way. And I could completely understand why it would fuck them up. So I think it's just a classic. It's one that's always going to go down in history. And like Miles says, it's a fun fucking watch every time.
The Godfather of Horror?
Hell yeah.
I put this in top 5 of horror movies. Good.
Definitely top 5 for me.
I think it's probably going to go down as the most important horror movie of all time. And everything kind of led up to it, and everything kind of went away from it. The only other movie I think you could put in that same category is maybe Psycho. Psycho. But, like, it's pretty much neck and neck for those two.
I was debating on what our 100th film would be, and this was a contender for it. So I put this way up there. But whenever Matt and Jessup decided we wanted to do this now, I was like, okay, that's cool. Because there's at least a couple others I consider the best horror movie of all time, but this is contender for the top 5 for me, 100%. I think we could say recommend across the board. Is that correct, everyone?
No.
Yeah,
no.
Recommend.
Raph, no, you're not going to recommend it?
Only if you're into boring gay movies.
2 horns up.
2 horns up.
I think you're thinking of Cruising, bro.
Yeah. All right,
Call back,
guys.
Miles.
I'm going to skip recommendations because other than Raph, who's being a bitch about it, I think the rest of us recommend it. So with that said, let's get to some clips and whip it up. All right. Can you guys see the Exorcist there?
Yep.
No.
Where?
Oh,
That
God.
poster?
Yes.
What are you talking
I saw the
about?
poster.
Oh, my bad.
I
I saw
did
the
see a
poster
poster.
too.
I can't see it.
You can see it now?
There we go. I see it. I see it.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
All right. Oh, that's the actual movie. God damn it, Duck. Why can't you?
All I see is
So-
a pause button.
I'm not watching a 2.5-hour clip, Duck. I love you, but I'm not watching a 2.5-hour
Oh yeah,
clip.
guys, I clipped this down to an hour and 57 minutes.
Your cunting daughter.
Well, no, I actually clipped it down to fuck me sideways.
I'm not going to watch that either. So what's going
That's,
what's
that's
going
my
on
favorite
here?
way to fuck women. I love doing it sideways.
How are we
It's
gonna
like
do
doggy
this?
style and also in the front at the same
You
time.
guys hear me?
Yeah, no, you're not
Uh-huh.
wrong.
Shit.
But where are the clips?
There's no clips. Nice.
Oh, God.
You said there'd be
Fucking
clips.
Just click
bitch.
random places in the movie, the full one. We'll just talk about whatever comes up.
Yeah.
Hey, when the priest flies out at the end, if you check out that graffiti on the side
Nope.
before he hits the stairs, it says "Fight Pigs." Oh, that shit was so funny.
Well, I don't know how we're going to do this because I screwed up.
Oh, so
For the
the
first
warrior.
time ever, I did not render down the clips. What the
That's
fuck is wrong with me?
it's obviously because of the spirit. The evil spirit of Pazuzu doesn't want you
Yeah.
showing clips.
When you were taking
Thing is,
when you were
bro.
taking the shower, Pazuzu wasn't behind you. He was fucking up the clip.
Yep.
Whoa.
Was that inside?
Probably just sounded
you?
like Yeah, I would just sounded like the Peanuts teacher.
Well, Duck,
there's
we can make Matt show off his creepy art.
Yeah, let's
Let's
do
do
that
it.
while I render down the clips. Give me one
There we
second
go.
to get this
We
started.
got to
Duck.
stretch it out.
Let's go grab a couple pieces.
Yeah, let's give me one moment as I.
Let me tell you what else I hate about this movie.
Yes. Well, Matt gets his stuff done as well. Yeah.
Well, I really enjoyed the paper mache titties. That was hilarious.
Those
That's
were
where
great.
Madonna got her idea.
That was perfect. Yeah.
Makes sense too.
Now
When
try
the
not to
mom-
look directly at Pazuzu or it's gonna fuck you up, Ducky.
Oh, there we
Here we
go.
go. Here we go.
Oh, that's badass.
Watch him drop it.
Oh, don't drop
Don't
it.
say that.
Oh,
Hey,
Put Pazuzu in the
top there.
background.
oh, lift it up, lift it up, lift it up.
Dude.
Yeah. So what we see
See
is
those 6 ugly people
There
in the
you go.
background wall.
By the way, guys, my wife just
That's
came
fucking
home and
dope.
scared the shit out of me.
what she do.
David, how
He
good does
just
the
walked-
blood on the bed still look?
Oh, it looks amazing.
Why
And
doesn't
David
she have
found-
Andy
like, he
written on
found
his
the
face?
IV bag and there's a Ouija board and there's a little iron and there's little scissors in the table. It's just absolutely fucking incredible.
That's
Yeah,
great.
so basically I watched the movie and then Matt, he had me do the Power of Christ Compels You on the bed.
Nice.
What?
Yeah, the Power
Like,
of Christ
Y'all were
Compels You.
watching it together?
Yes.
No. He would just, I would watch it and I would pick out ideas from the movie.
David, I'm fucking with you. I didn't know.
But if you notice, you can see that it looks like she's levitating off the bed.
Yeah.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Man. And
Yeah, that was a cool fucking. And the best part is that glass case came from Hobby Lobby.
Yeah, you see the hearts and shit.
Yeah.
Nice.
Dude, what is that? A fucking Misfits razor blade on your wall? Saw blade?
Yeah, so I know a couple of really cool artists. I collect from two. One guy's name is Heath, and the other guy's name is David Jessup. And so Heath, he did Leatherface and the Misfits on actual saw blades.
That's fucking
He also
That's
did
dope.
those paintings you see, the Myers, the chainsaw, and there's a Jason one. They're all one of ones. He's just really fucking talented. He actually follows you on Instagram, David.
Oh, badass, man. Yeah, grab that Texas Chainsaw diorama. This is the one that Matt helped me with also, and like had me kind of like work through the design of it. Look at that fucking badass.
That's so dope.
The background, he's got the background, and then he had the idea. Look at the eyes. That was his idea. Fuck yes.
Fucking Bubba.
Fucking awesome.
What's funny is I've been playing a bunch of Dead by Daylight with Leatherface.
Bubba.
Bitches on
Oh,
video.
dude.
We
you
play
can
Dead by
join us.
Daylight all the time.
We play Dead by Daylight all the time.
Probably
Yeah.
hopping on. I'm hopping on after this.
Wait, are you guys serious?
Yes.
They're gonna do it after
We're all
this.
best friends.
We're gonna
Except
play
I'm not
tonight
playing
after
with
the
you, he
cast.
plays Leatherface.
I'm 100% playing tonight, so we have to add each other.
Yes.
Nerds. I feel left out.
Nerds. Right.
You're just jealous.
Very much.
Dude, I actually am jealous. I really wish I liked that game. Like I like every time I'm not, no, seriously, like I don't think I'm better than y'all at all. I'm like, I wish I had that in me. I really
This is
did.
one of
look
my
at that.
personal favorites that David ever made. When I saw
Baphomet.
I bought it on the
love
fucking
him.
spot. I just
Yeah.
said, I want that. Send it to me.
I would also.
That's fucking creepy.
Yeah, we
And
are
fucking
trash.
the children have blood on their heads.
The kids. Yeah, that's
And
the
also,
best part.
Matt, if you can hold the angle up to where you can see the children are in the shape of a pentagram.
They sure fucking are.
Oh shit.
Whoa,
Real
nice.
children's bones you use to carve those figurines.
This is being recorded. Shut up,
Real
Rob.
children's bone.
No, but there's
Yeah.
a drop of his blood on each one of their heads.
Oh,
This is
no.
true.
Oh,
This is
gross. Don't touch it.
That makes it authentic. See, I don't sign my work. I bleed on it.
It's very
You're
kiss of
fucking
you.
regular Gigi Allen.
You're gonna see like an antique roadshow, and they're gonna bust out a DNA kit, and be like, "Oh, this is an original Jessup."
Oh, shit.
We can test the blood back to 2017, and we can tell that this is David Jessup.
You can tell because he got COVID in the DNA cell.
Be like, I could tell by this blood he only had about 10 minutes of strong material. I'm just kidding.
Damn, dude.
Just kidding.
That's he's telling the truth.
Damn, that was harsh.
Dude, I have 10 minutes of strong material and 15 of like, I'll be gone soon. I'll be off. Don't worry. Don't worry.
Anything else, Matt, that you got there that you want to show off?
Oh, where's the other Texas Chainsaw one? The first one I did with the.
So it's a bash kit, and but I have it hanging on the wall like a piece of art, and you can see it here. But I can't. I don't know if I can move the camera.
Oh, I see it. I see it. Yeah, just the bottom. There it is. There it is, guys. It's got the wings. It's got the wings on it.
Oh shit!
Nice. Dope.
Yeah, it's
Nice.
Nirvana cover.
Yep. It's inspired by in utero.
In
How do you say it?
utero.
Utero.
In
whatever.
utero.
Utero. There.
Dude,
it is.
that Nightmare 3 art is unreal good.
I
Is that the
love
same
it.
guy?
I loved it so much. I found it at a fucking weird one-off shop, and I just grabbed it. It was fucking $10.
Nice.
Is that your favorite
That's
one of the
amazing,
series?
dude.
Of the series, I would, besides the original, 3 is definitely my favorite.
3
Matt,
is the
Matt,
shit, dude.
That
I
never
love
ends.
that.
Never ends.
Matt,
We're probably gonna end up
let me ask you
skipping
this.
through.
Let me ask you this, Matt.
What's
you
up,
slap on the
Doc?
bass?
We
You
should
slap
do
on
2
the
in
bass?
June, Ducky.
For many, many years, Jake, many
You
years.
slap? You fucking slap? Fuck yeah.
What was the name of your band back in the day?
The bands that I toured with, one was called Heads Up, and one was called Deadweight.
Oh, like that.
And what kind of music was it? Was it metal? Was it new metal? Was it like?
So the first time around when I really tried, it was a band that sounded kind of like I was like a few years before my time. Like you take modern hardcore, and that's what I wanted, but I ended up getting a mixture of like Pantera, Slayer, and Hatebreed all together. So like it had breakdowns, but not enough stops. But we ended up playing with bands like Earth Crisis and Strife and Snapcase and shit like that. But never did anything. And then made a joke of a band called Heads Up, which was like a pop punk band, and did it just to get chicks. And ended up like touring with the Pharmaceutical Bandits, opening for Blink. Like it was stupid. It was awesome.
Oh wow, dude! That's
And
cool.
you just did it as a joke, as a goof?
The second one, it started as a joke, but it got serious when everyone liked it.
Damn straight.
Isn't that how it works?
But then it never got serious enough. And
well, I've been trying to do that with my comedy. You know, just treat it as a joke, and maybe I'll become famous, but it's not working.
I don't know, man. I already
God, it's not all about you, Jessup. Jesus.
I know. But the name of my bands were. Hey, let's talk about my bands. They were Huge Peter, Harvey, and Crash Fire. And then we did this, and then we did this, and then we did this.
This reminds me of the Different Strokes episode where Sam was introduced. And David is totally Arnold because Sam does everything right. And I was like, I'm the cute kid. I'm the cute kid too. Flash style.
I'm just hoping everyone keeps vapping for about another 30 seconds, and then we'll have clips
30
on.
minutes. All right.
30 seconds. 30 seconds. That's all I
I
need.
can't believe that I have people to play Dead by Daylight with. That's so fun.
Fuck
Yeah, it's like 6 of those fuckers.
Yeah, dude. We
Pure
love
Survivor.
Doug, did you mention that this movie was based on a true story?
No,
It was-
I didn't. There was another wonderful film we got out of that is Nightmare on Elm Street, which was based on a headline that the director read. The writer had read just that some kid had an exorcism, basically, and it was such a novel thing that it inspired him to write this book. So
It was a 14-year-old boy in Maryland that it took a month-long exorcism. And it was based on a true story. The book and, again, the movie.
They
How many
made a
pounds did
movie
he
about that specific case as well. Like I think it was like a straight to TV movie possibly, but it was made. I do remember seeing it.
all right, guys.
It was made.
Hey everyone, it's just Duck jumping in here real quick to say thank you so much for checking out the podcast today. If you're enjoying it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, or iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And just so you know, the next section of the podcast will be clips from the movie, so you can find replays of the live video stream at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. Once again, all links can be found in the description. Come check out our live stream every Monday at 8 p.m. And for a full list of future films, check out our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast. And with that, back to the Horrorcast. All right, guys, let's clip it up. I apologize about that. That has never happened before and it'll never happen again. So, statue.
Nice.
Look at that dick, man. Shit.
Does the dick look the same as the dick that's done in like no, it's just...
At the end, you see that fucking hole.
Love that. I just love the way that looks. Yeah. This is
fucking
wonderful.
standoff.
And the
I really thought
dog.
he was.
Yeah, the
The
dog's
dog's
fighting is
fighting.
dope.
Okay, so those dogs are Kangles, and if they stand on their hind legs, they're like taller than most full-grown men. I would be terrified as fuck if I saw two of them fighting.
Yeah, fuck that.
Jesus.
Oh, those were Kangles? Yeah, I've heard about
Yeah.
them, man. They're vicious.
Yeah, dude, they're fucking insane.
They also got.
They don't look
camel
that
stuff.
big there. They didn't look that big there.
Yo, they didn't.
But now you mentioned it, yeah, those are monsters, man.
Those are the puppies.
Yes.
A Ouija
No, those are
board.
the. Ugh.
You've been playing with it? Yep. You know how?
So yeah, and then she doesn't freak out there either.
And did you notice the little
Strings.
paper mache thing in the background?
The
that she had
bird right
made?
there.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
the
Yeah.
same kind of thing that was on
It's
the
in the
fucking
The
foreground.
Rodan, if you will. Looks like a
yeah,
Rodan.
and that was the bird that was the same kind of design that was on the statue in the church.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You really don't want me to play, huh? No, I do.
Captain Howdy said no.
Captain Howdy.
Which was a song by Twisted Sister.
And he was in a movie where he actually played the character.
That's right.
As a demon
Yes,
called
D. Snyder. That was that movie.
Yeah. Pee-wee's Big Adventure. I love it.
Can we also talk about the fact that this is like her playroom basement, but like behind her is like a fucking 90 bottles of fucking vintage port, so she probably getting fucked up on there.
Oh, the doctor
That's where all
says,
that
"Do you
puke
have any
comes from
drugs in
later."
the house?" And I'm like, "This girl could be drinking because there's alcohol fucking everywhere."
Plus, you're on a movie set. There's also all sorts of drugs somewhere.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just cans of ether in the background.
It's not that.
Model glue.
Is that not the worst name for a demon, Captain Howdy?
I don't know, dude. I don't think you should chant saying shit about Captain Howdy. He fucked that
Yeah,
girl.
dude, if you're so ballsy, go
Way
say
to
Captain
trick a
Howdy in
kid,
the mirror
bro.
3 times, Raph.
Why don't you go get in a Ouija board and say it, dude? Come on. Heard Captain Howdy's a real pussy. Oh, next thing you know, Raph is on the cast spewing fucking split pea soup and shit.
Next thing you know, Raph is on the cast actually liking good movies and hating bad movies. He must be possessed.
The Flame Deluge.
That's nice.
The only jump scare in the movie. Is
That's
this
awesome.
Jessup's art? Is that a Jessup original right there?
You know what? I'm. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make that now. I've been inspired.
Oh,
Holy
you
shit.
should. And then I'll buy
Well,
it.
don't.
You gotta make it that big though. That was like a 5 foot piece.
Flash of the Demon. These little. Oh yeah, I did. Never mind.
Where?
This is just. Oh, there. Oh god, I hate it.
So good. That's so good.
Feel this?
So there was another one where the lights flickered. You could see the face on the vent.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that
Close the
wasn't in
window.
the original. Those are superimposed in the director's cut, and a lot of
So when
Also, you can see it on her face at the end, and
Yep.
then in Father Karras's dream, which is the.
But when
one
she
that-
runs through the window to close it, there's a figure out there standing too.
I think it's a
That was-
statue.
Oh
isn't it?
wow!
Yeah.
I don't want it.
And that guy.
Oh, you ain't this, Mr. Man.
I did not like this scene. I was like, no wonder they cut this out.
Well, I think
You know
it's when
what
the
she sounds
possession's
like?
actually happening.
Yeah, I
It
think
sounds
it's
like
That's when they
fucking
started
Daniel
drugging her.
Plainview's son after he lost his hearing.
Have you ever known your daughter to
Nobody's
swear?
seen There Will Be Blood.
To use obscenities?
No, never.
Nope.
She let loose quite a string while I was examining her, Mrs. McNeil. She advised me to keep my fingers away from her. Goddamn cunt.
God damn, dude. Nazi bastard. I thought this shit was funny. I don't know.
Tell me, was a
That was my favorite
you
scene.
did for the Gestapo or community relations? Yes, of course. And you never went bowling with Goebbels either, I suppose, eh?
That's a sick burn, bro. That's a sick burn. Because they know Germans hate bowling.
Bloody damn.
He looks like the bad guy from the
butchering
Smurfs.
Nazi pig.
Cargamau.
Yeah.
Like Lloyd Kaufman's older brother.
Can we all agree that this guy
Kaufman.
probably was a soldier in the Nazi army?
Yes.
Like, at that point, you're like, oh yeah, this dude was a Nazi.
It's a perfect misdirect too. He had
Dude.
reason to kill him, and so therefore you're sitting there going like, "Oh, the kid didn't do it. The supposed Nazi probably did," or at least that's what I was thinking for a second, and then I put it 2 and 2 together. So
He's got a British accent. I figured he was in the British Army, and that's why he hates everybody with a foreign accent because he thinks they're all Nazis.
I just love the way he says, "You Nazi bastard."
Did you get the end where he says yes for dessert?
Yes. He's loving it.
What's for dessert?
It's like that. Did you guys ever see the Marathon Man? It's that opening scene where the old Jew and the old Nazi are in the car and they're like chasing each other. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Pissing the carpet.
Hey, I think we've got a guest.
You're gonna die up there.
You guys suck.
Oh, you won't know because you'll never address it in the movie, so we never know if you actually die.
Again?
He was on Space Shuttle Challenger.
No.
That's how he died.
No. He was not the astronaut. Look, he has the collar, and he tells him he's gonna die. That's
No, it's
father.
the guy in the suit. The suit is the guy who she was.
Yeah, the guy in the suit.
That's why it went right to him after she said it. Like it went directly to him, and he was like, "Well, fuck."
Yep.
And he had that look of like terror on it, or like, "What the fuck are you saying to me?"
Yeah.
Anyways, here's Wonderwall.
A quarter bed. Do you remember the beds that you used to have in the hotels? You could throw the quarter in, and then.
Yeah.
Okay, is this not what we are imagining?
What was that, Raph?
Oh no, I thought it was wrapped around.
Oh no, yeah, it's the bed from Family Vacation.
Right there, I'd be out of that fucking house.
I know, white people.
How do they do that? How do they do that effect? Does anyone know?
Yeah, they went to
a
Hotel 6
vegetation
from
on each side.
1979, and they put 50 cents on the bed.
They got 4 fucking stupid assholes who are getting paid $25 a day to fucking be on each
Shake
corner
it up,
of the bed
yeah.
underneath
I mean,
it.
didn't Linda Blair like really fuck up her back bad?
She
during
did, but
the-
it was during the scene where she's going up and down. She
Going
says
up
it
and down.
burns
Yeah.
because the harness broke, and then she was actually loose. That's why it looks so realistic.
Yeah,
Oh
it's
my
whenever
God.
she was dating Bon Jovi or whatever.
Dude, there's so many rules were broken that they could not do today.
Yeah.
Like there's just so many things.
Well,
back
they
then
did that with the harness, and then there's in the same scene where she's on the crucifix masturbation, the mother falls to the ground after getting slapped, and they pulled that harness so bad they fucked up her back, like they fucked up her spine.
That was
And then-
hilarious.
Yeah.
She looked like a rag doll.
Well, we'll get there. I clipped it, and then the priest at the end, when he's all shaken and he's taking his final, confession, he's shaking because the director backhanded him, and then he said action, and he went right into making it.
With
So,
how many injuries and deaths were for this movie? Are we sure this isn't a Landis production?
oh,
Yeah, no shit. You find out that Landis was like an assistant director on this movie.
Dude, 8 of the 9 people died when that helicopter just crashed right through the bedroom.
Took out
Getting
the 2
worse.
Vietnamese cans and fucking.
it's
Freaking,
getting.
you want to know how to kill your talent? Read my book.
Vic Morrow, rest in peace.
Okay, so where did the amulet come from right there?
That
part
was
of
from
his
the dream.
From Goonies.
That was a dream.
No,
Did you say it was from the Goonies?
No, Monster Squad. I messed up.
That's how you find One-Eyed Willie's treasure.
Abs workout.
And everybody's just laughing.
Oh my god.
For the makers
that
of
was
6
so
minute abs.
funny.
Oh
Oh
my god.
Simpson in fucking Naked Gun every time in the fucking bed.
That bitch. I love how she bitch slapped him, her mama, and the other one. Oh, that was hilarious.
That's horrible.
Man.
God, just
Harry,
somebody
how did
fuck
they
her already.
get
Maybe
away
she
with
would
it?
stop screaming.
Oh, Jesus.
She's 13.
Maybe she's going through her
13.
time.
Scary
13.
flashes.
Clearly, she's in hate.
Oh my god.
Christ.
I'm going to get a wet Q-tip.
Oof.
Oh yeah.
Right there it is.
Peekaboo.
Oh, Possessor.
The old
Bye.
spider walk.
Peekaboo.
It looked like a character from.
That is so good.
Isn't that a contortionist that did that?
It is. And they extended her on wires. One of the reasons they didn't keep that in the original film is because they couldn't find a way to get rid of the wires. So it wasn't until the director's cut came out, or the version you never saw that came out in 2000, that they added it back in. And
They could do
initially,
digital editing.
yeah, he didn't want to put it in the film because it felt like things happened too quickly, because it is more extreme than the other stuff
Yeah.
we saw. But now that he put it back in, he likes this version of the movie. So
Somebody needs to recut that scene with the scrapped idea for Alien 3, where they're doing the crab walk. You know what I'm talking about? They got the human on their fucking. Never mind.
I'm with you, Jake. I agree with you.
right on the nuts. I think she got him in the taint.
That's hilarious.
That's
One
a-
finger
that's
at the butthole.
That was a Hitchcock shot right there. That was from Psycho. That was a direct lift from Psycho.
And when he falls
Where the
down the
camera
stairs.
falls on
Yeah.
him.
Yep. When you put the steady cam on somebody and then follow them as they fall. It's freaking awesome.
For what it's
The
worth, if
cross
you say
scene-
the cross scene, that's not the scene people think.
Yeah.
Finger bang.
That's so rough. Out of context, it's even worse.
What is there context for it, anyways?
You're right.
Oh my god! Again, why this movie would never be made?
Yeah,
today.
and dude, her face. Look at how red her face is.
Yeah, because she just got done licking her.
Yeah. And that
thanks, Jake.
Appreciate that, Jake. I understand this film. I did it before.
But that scream she makes at the end, that is
So
like some
simple.
legit stuff. She like hurt her spine, so that was real. Your cunting daughter.
Oh, and she slapped her for reals there because she ends up having a scratch after that. And they have to cover with makeup.
You said that she got scratched for real and they had to cover it in makeup?
Yeah, when she slapped her right there, because you see the heavy makeup on afterwards.
Damn. Oh yeah. She got the bruise. Real
All the way to-
reaction. This is a real reaction from what is it?
Yeah.
He was pissed. Because it was supposed to hit his chest.
It went right in his fucking mouth.
Yeah. Holy water.
That's why you don't keep your mouth open in those situations.
Like
I love the way this scene is lit. It's almost like a Kubrick shot. It's so bright.
Like a blue hue
It's
to
not
it.
slime.
Yeah, this
from
thing is
Nickelodeon?
fucking lit.
What's that?
LSD. Want to drop?
He was kind of gangster.
Does it, Jay? Does it? It's not that compelling.
Help me.
Oh, this is amazing.
Yeah, this is dope. And they talking about other movies that always are inspired by this film. Like they do something very similar to this in Nightmare on Elm Street. Or possibly
7.
Yeah.
Movie 7, whenever they got the fucking the
Iconic. This is the shot right here.
Oh, and if you guys watch the documentary, I highly recommend it. William Friedkin talks about the old paintings he's inspired by, and he shows the painting that this shot was inspired by, and it's really
that's cool.
Yeah. It was a series of paintings, right? And like
Yeah.
this is, and the one with the man wearing the hat is the one that he decided. And he's
Yep.
not.
What did you say the documentary was called?
It's on Shudder. It's called Leap of Faith, and they
of
just
Faith.
sit down and it's just an interview with William Friedkin. But what's so
that's
great about
awesome.
it, dude, is they have all this footage, and they show Regan as the demon, but it's her real voice before the voiceover, and you really get to see the difference. And it also plays the original music score that was made for the film, and he talks about how much he fucking hated it, and he plays it, and you're like, yeah, that fucking sucks.
It sucks, yeah.
And it was the guy that did Psycho. The guy that did the music for Psycho he did the original music for this that was thrown away.
I saw that, David, but it was a while ago. Didn't they have alternate lines for Regan to say for some of her dialogue that would like mouth match, but not that way she wasn't actually saying like "fuck me" or whatever?
I don't know. Matt, jump in.
What was that?
Did they have alternate lines? Like instead of saying "fuck me," she would have said "foot me" or something like that, and then the ADR in the "fuck me."
Yeah, I believe that.
I thought I remember hearing remember they had said something like that, because there's some scenes that it's like, yeah, I can understand why people are mad that they have a 12-year-old girl say, because I mean Linda Blair had a lot of backlash from this. People were afraid of her. They thought she was legitimately bringing trouble. And
she got nominated for an Oscar for the role.
She was absolutely amazing in this, because you talk about a character's arc. Holy shitballs.
Yeah, she got nominated for an Oscar, and when they found out she didn't do the voice, they wanted to take the Oscar nomination back, but they couldn't because of the they just couldn't at that point.
I mean, it wasn't that bad. She went on to star in Repossessed.
And Heat Cage or Caged Heat about
That sounds like a late night Showtime.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like something I might check out.
She did a lot of titty flicks.
Yeah, she did.
And that movie about the movie where they were saving the roller skating rink.
Dude, I don't know what that is, but I want to fucking watch that. That sounds awesome.
Starlight Express.
Starlight Express. Starlight Express.
You sounded like the producer pitching that film. It's called Starlight Express.
And then does a bump of coke.
All right, guys. Here's the long clip, the exorcism itself. Not 9 minutes long, but I tried to clip the best parts of it.
Good shot.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell, Gyros, you faithless swine.
Come unto me. The Lord be with you. That roaring liar, hasten to our call for help, and snatch from ruination. Strike terror, Lord, into the beast. Father Gyros.
Get out of there. Fuck that.
Father Gyros.
Bro, that bed starts moving. Fuck
Regan,
I'm out, bro.
Daylight.
Yes.
And then the worst thing at the end of the movie now, they're taking their shit. Just leave that shit there, bitch.
What's
Love
stuff?
or hate the scary movie franchise, the second one, the beginning of it, they fucking killed it with their spoof.
They parodied it.
Like, honestly, I was expecting you to actually splice some clips of James Woods going,
James Woods doing it. Like,
dude, I
it
love
was
that they're
so
doing
on
like gangster
point.
rap on the piano. Like,
Yes. And she comes in, she's like, you guys suck.
Well, I think that's one of the problems with this movie. Also, watching it for like Javi's age is that's been parodied so much, you know. And
Yeah,
I
I'm
think what
scared.
it is-
Javi is like almost as old as
Yeah.
Javi's older than half of the people here. What are you talking?
But
I'm,
he's
dude,
got
I'm
a baby
53.
face, dude.
To me, Javi
Oh,
is
but-
20.
Yeah, but like
I'm actually the youngest one here, though.
Here's the baby.
Oops.
Grant me your hostile power. Oh Lord, hear my prayer.
Let my cry come unto thee.
The Lord
Sounds like he says Austin Powers.
I cast
Hey, baby.
unclean spirit in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ.
yeah, they couldn't make this movie today because they just dropped a hard
You
F bomb.
blunt heights of heaven to the depths of hell.
Fuck him!
Be gone
Fuck him, Gyros!
from
Fuck
this
him.
creature of Jesus Christ.
Did she think that was gonna work? Like he was just gonna bend over the other priests are fucking him?
Lips and
Okay.
and the Holy Spirit.
I'd like to see that version. Fuck him, Karis. Okay.
Just
I've been
it's out
waiting
there,
for
dude.
somebody to ask.
God, defender of the human race.
Turns out he gave up a very important
to
map,
depart
and the
from the
resistance got
servant of
fucked by Kylo Ren in the First Order. It's crazy.
It's the power.
That's what David created.
Yeah.
It's the power of Christ that compels you. The
I
power
love
of
how the
Christ
soundtrack
compels
drops
you.
out and you just hear the house
The power
shaking.
of Christ
Yeah.
compels you.
Yeah.
All right, this part is pure acting. Out of context, it
Oh,
is
they were too long.
ridiculous.
Oh, see, this is fucked.
Hey, so how do they do the room? They're breathing a lot. Is it
They
really cold?
They
refrigerated the
refrigerated
room,
the
so
fuck out of it, dude.
yeah, so
Yeah.
it was less than 30
Super cold in
degrees.
there.
And it
And
actually,
Linda Blair's in like a 90 the whole
yeah,
time.
and she still hates the cold to this day. She said, but
And again, appreciating this movie, no CGI.
Yep.
Everything is in camera. They had to go to Iraq. They filmed on location. No green screens. It was fucking beautiful.
Dude, they brought in a real demon. That's how they
Yeah,
achieved
I
all
know.
these shots.
crazy. They got Pazuzu. It was
I
nuts.
mean, they found him on on what Gig Salad. They found him on Gig Salad, and they talked him down to like, hey, you want to do a movie for exposure?
The room
Do I
was
get my
so
own statue?
cold. The room was so cold that it actually snowed in the room. That's how cold it was.
Oh, shit.
So they kept that thing. frigid.
Why, Jimmy?
All right, 2 more clips. Father Marin dead. That holy water didn't do shit for him.
That is not doing anything for me.
So that's how you got a lawsuit. If you just block somebody.
That's the same motion that Linda Blair like does to hit him when she's like got her wrist tied.
That's
Yeah.
like
The guy's a fucking
John
boxer.
Travolta to do this fucking Neil Wallace in Pulp Fiction.
There's that broken necklace
Yep.
that then went back in time and ended up in Iraq.
Why is there a flash of Father Marin in the window?
It's his forced spirit. It's
Yeah.
his Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Oh, it's part of Star Wars.
That's Max von Sydow.
Yeah.
So the guy's a boxer and he just broke that girl's jaw.
Beat
Right?
the
We all
shit,
saw it.
yeah, man. He Mike Tyson the fuck out of
Hooray!
I really like that he sacrificed himself. He's like,
I really do fuck with that victory though.
him.
That was
You know, because
awesome.
he's the bad guy in the third one, so I don't know.
I like
Oh, is
that.
he? Oh shit!
Kind of.
Spoilers.
Damn. The end.
Nice.
Dun, dun, dun.
Spoilers, the movie's like fucking 40 years old.
Oh my god! Oh my god! You're right. I'm so fucking old, dude.
So that
It's so
priest
fucked up.
is an actual priest. That guy is, and he was. Or there are allegations against him that he raped a child. So
you can tell how he's looking at her that he wanted to rape her.
Well, no,
Look
because
at
she
him.
doesn't. She doesn't
No,
have. a dick,
she wasn't
so-
an altar boy. Yeah.
Yeah, fuck that.
He's like, oh, she's getting away.
But hey,
Sick.
so I want to talk about the actor that played Father Karras. He was not supposed to get that role, and he fucking fought hard to get it. And he finally was able to get a meeting with the director.
Well,
and
they didn't give him
convince
the Rocky role, so he had to use the somewhere else.
he was nominated, I believe, for an Oscar too, but he did not.
He was so good. And then what else did he do after that? He kind of just like,
I don't know, to be honest with you. Yeah, but he kills it in this movie. Let's get to recommendations, guys. The first recommendation I'm going to do is The Conjuring because it's kind of Exorcist-like. I like this movie. I've never watched any of the other ones in the series. I never saw Annabelle. I never saw The Nun, but I thought the first one was scary. I think the third act of it is absolutely terrifying. It had me riveted. The sound design is mostly what gets you, because the sound design is just awesome in this movie. But
Is that
really
the 70s
enjoyed
or 60s?
70s.
I think it's based in the 60s, is what it is.
Yeah. And again, that's based on true events too.
Now the people
They've been in box.
the Rain and whatever, I can't think of their last name. The psychics.
The
and-
Warrens.
The Warrens, yeah.
Lorraine Warren.
Thank you. They were proven to be
oh
fake.
yeah, totally fake.
Yeah,
They're totally
100%
fake.
fake. They
This
were
movie actually
charlatans,
scared the shit out
They're
of me.
snake oil salesmen, just
Yeah,
with a
100%.
horror
But
twist.
But as characters,
They
in the
did
movie-
inspire the Amityville Horror. The
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah, this movie
that's
actually
why
did.
they're-
I remember when I was married, me and my wife at the time, we went to the Studio Movie Grill in the Highlands to go watch it. But it was during the day, so I was fine. But like there was several times, I swear to God, I fucking got so scared because our fucking waitress would make no noise. Even when she had a platter full of places. Hey guys, hey, I remember one time I was having my dessert. I was having like an ice cream cookie and shit. And I have like my little spoon in my hand. She goes, "Hey, God, I got you." Oh my God! I fucking spoon ends up hitting and clanking on the wall, and I screamed out that loud. I was like, "I'm so sorry." The waitress is laughing at me, still laughing at me when she sees me leave the building, and it was fucking great. That movie scared the shit out of me.
Dude, you're
You
gonna
sure
lose
wasn't
your
the
shit when you
waitress?
realize that waitress has been dead for 40 years.
My second recommendation is going to be The Devil and Father Amorth. This is the documentary that freaking directed.
Oh, I didn't know about this.
And this came out in 2013, I believe. And it's a documentary. That woman is actually supposedly possessed by a demon, and they exorcise her. So I am curious to watch it. I've never seen it before, but I think this goes to the top of the list of films that I need to watch. It's a return to documentary. And like I said, he was a documentary filmmaker before he made The Exorcist. And you can tell that in the filming and the style of the movie, because a lot of the shots are just straight on. It feels like you're fly on the wall. It feels like you're there for the whole
Yeah,
thing.
just conversations.
Yeah, it's freaking great. So I can't wait to watch this documentary. That guy got fucked up by something. But other than that, that is my recommendations. Do you guys have any recommendations for movies based on
The
Exorcism of Emily Rose.
Yes.
The Exorcism of Emily Rose is great.
Exorcism of Emily Rose, The Possession. And if you haven't had a chance, I know it's not a possession movie, but if you haven't had a chance to sit through it, Terrifier is one of the best movies.
Oh, I love
Oh,
Terrifier, dude. I'm so excited for the sequel.
I got a recommendation. It is kind of like a takeover. Stir of Echoes with Kevin Bacon.
That's a great movie.
That's a good movie.
I fuck with that
Very
movie.
good movie.
Yeah.
Very good. Written by the guy that wrote Seven, I believe.
There was a movie I was thinking about earlier with Kevin Bacon in it called Wild Things, which stars his penis.
Oh yeah, Wild Things is great.
It's fucking huge.
Yeah, it's
That's what I'm saying. I thought
I mean,
it
it's
was
a good
Denise
movie, too.
Richards, Nev Campbell scene in the
Matt Dillon. Terrible movie. It's a terrible movie.
No, Wild Things is a great movie. What are you talking about?
I love that movie for reasons, but it's
What?
not a great movie.
Yeah, Kevin Bacon's dick. I said it. We all love it for Kevin Bacon's dick. All right, any other recommendations? I'm sorry, guys.
This is out of left field, but it's a pretty shitty movie. But I loved it when it came out. End of Days.
Oh,
Arnold
Schwarzenegger?
Fuck
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
It's
Great
a lot of
movie.
possession. It's on a grandiose scale. And it's got Gabriel Byrne, who looks a lot like Jason Miller. So I thought it was kind
There
of
you go.
Who is
unique
also
pick.
in another possession movie in the same year, Stigmata, with Patricia
Boom.
Arquette.
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is.
I would
There's a-
love to watch Stigmata again. I think
There's a
Stigmata was
movie.
actually pretty fucking okay.
Yeah, Stigmata was pretty good. There's a movie
Yeah.
that came out last year called Possessor by the son of David Cronenberg.
with the clown in
And
it.
I don't know if it's a clown or anything, but I've never seen it, but I want to see it. It's called Possessor, but it's supposed to be, it's very David Cronenberg-esque, I guess. But yeah, I hear it's pretty good.
I'm gonna throw out Fallen, which was Denzel Washington and John Goodman.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And it's like it's not really a possession, but like it's like a, I guess kind of a possession, but it jumps.
Yeah,
from,
the
like,
devil
person.
keeps taking over.
Yeah.
Time is on my side. Yes. it is.
I recommend watching the actual or listening to the audio tapes of the exorcism of Annalise Michel.
Fuck yeah.
Ooh,
Nah, I don't want
On
something good.
YouTube. And it's like some real fucking shit of like this.
Yeah,
lady
no, if it's
screaming.
real
I don't know.
shit.
It's not.
Oh, don't
it's
worry,
not
Raph.
fucking kind of maybe debunked. They don't know if it's really fucking.
I don't
true
think
or
that
not,
she's
but it's
possessed. I
fucking
think she's
creepy
very
as fuck.
mentally ill, but it is scary
Yeah.
as fuck, regardless
Oh, yeah.
of what's happening.
Yeah.
I want to piggyback off of what Miles said. Denzel Washington. His real name is Denzel Washington. Did you guys know that?
Denzel?
What?
His real name
Oh.
is Denzel Washington. That's how you pronounce it. I just found that out the other day. So we've been saying
That's
that.
pretty interesting.
My
Second,
apologies
I
to
wonder
Mr.
why it's
Washington.
pronounced Denzel.
his father's
Yeah,
name is Denzel.
you're being
and his
racist,
name
bro.
is Denzel.
I didn't see him
Finally,
complaining
I'm
when he was
canceled.
getting,
I've been waiting for this moment.
yeah, he never corrected anyone when he was making those Oscar speeches. So I wonder why it's.
It's like,
And by the way,
it's like when-
it's Denzel.
whenever Christy was like, Jake,
I'm
you been
Denzel.
watching the Marvel movies?
Also, we didn't say, but happy birthday, David.
Hey, happy birthday, dude.
Woo! Happy birthday.
you.
Happy belated.
Fuck yeah. Well, guys, let's go ahead and shut this down. Maddie, thank you so much for joining
Thanks,
us.
Matt.
We really
Thanks for
appreciate
coming
it.
out, Matt.
Nice to meet you, Matt.
boys.
You are always welcome to come back anytime you want. We're going to play some D by D. We're going to have a good time. Miles,
Yeah,
let's start with
Matt,
you.
send me your name. Send me your thing.
Yeah,
Me too.
Your name.
Miles, tell them where they can find you on the internet.
You can find me everywhere at Mr. Most Days Off, and you can check out my Simpsons podcast at Best Darn Diddley.
Fuck yeah. Javi, tell them where they can find your artwork there.
You can find my artwork on Instagram and TikTok for Javi Bear Studios.
Fuck yeah. And David, tell them where they can find you.
Facebook, Stop Motion Nightmares, Instagram, Children of Dave, and on March 26th, I'll be at the Oddities and Curiosities Expo in Fair Park. You guys should come out. It is a fucking freak show.
Hell yeah.
It's basically Matt's room times 1,000.
Is there going to be hot women dressed in cosplay?
Oh no, it's a bunch of hot women dressed as Wednesday from the Addams Family.
I'm fucking there, bro.
And then about every other
I can
guy
only
is
get
wearing.
so erect. Please stop.
Yeah, and every other guy is wearing a top hat. Like, so that's what it is.
Once again, I can
Most of
only
them are
get so
hanging them
erect.
over their
Please
crotch,
stop.
accountable to Wednesday Addams.
Dave, are you doing stand up now that the we went down to Orange and
Yes.
played Jenkins?
Yep,
Said we don't have to wear no mask no more.
Yeah, next Wednesday I start back with open mics, and yep, I'm dipping my toe back into performing stand-up comedy again after the threat level red is now the threat level orange, and yeah,
Hey, David, where are you doing the open mics?
Hyenas Wednesday nights. Yep.
Fantastic.
Well, guys, you can find us on the internet at wearepodcast.podbean.com, where you can find all the podcasts. I just released We Are Air Super Bowl trailers, where we talk about all the Super Bowl trailers. And I also released a I Hate Being Sober, where I talked to Suzanne Moore, my friend, about dating a narcissist, because she was in a narcissistic relationship, and it was fucking terrible. And she wanted to talk about
that
it.
was me. That was me who she dated, by the way.
Yeah. And so, we talked about David Jessup quite a bit in that conversation. You can check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok at /We Are Podcast. And of course, every Monday at 8 p.m. Central for Camp Horrorcast. We talk horror movies from the past. Guys, next week most likely will be Rawhead Rex. I'm moving it up a week, so just letting everyone know.
Never seen it. I can't wait.
Same.
So
Never
I
heard of it.
apologize to you again, Jay, about moving it, but get Barry Whitewater in there. We had to move it up a week, so that's what we're doing. But with that said, guys, keep horror in your heart. thank you so much for being here. Happy birthday, David. Thank you again, Matt. We appreciate you being here. And with that said, I'm going to cut the feed. So,
bye.
Hey, with this podcast, it's like we're all in an abusive relationship with Jessup.
Feels good.
And there it is. Thank you again so much for checking out the podcast today. If you enjoyed it, head over to your favorite podcast app, Spotify, Stitcher, Podbean, and iTunes, and give We Are Podcast Network a like. And since this is Camp/Horrorcast, if you want to check us out live, we will be on Twitch and YouTube every Monday at 8 p.m. Central Time. You can find us at twitch.tv/We Are Podcast Network and youtube.com/We Are Podcast Network. And if you've enjoyed this podcast, you're going to love the other podcasts here on the We Are Podcast Network. We have We Are Air, where we talk movies, entertainment, whatever the fuck we want to talk about. That's me, that's Jake, and that's Javi. We're breaking down that pop culture, and we're having so much fun. And don't forget to check out We Are Bagu, a video game podcast, where we talk Atari to Steam and everything in between. That's me and Dr. Ethan Eastwood breaking down all that video game lore, heroes, Gyros, a Dungeons and Distractions side quest. Me and the boys were playing some D&D. You can start that one from Season 1, Episode 1. It's a blast the whole way through. And I Hate Being Sober. Personal stories from epic people. I sit down with some of my favorite people of all time. We talk about their trials, their tribulations, and their journey this far. Also, check the links in the description for our social media. You can find us at Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at /We Are Podcast Network. With that said, hopefully we see you in the live stream.